Morning. Yes, I'm here first thing in the morning to do the preview. There are 12 games tonight, so I want to get this preview done early. It'll be a long one. That's what he said. Strike that from the record. All right, jumping into things. Capitals. The Washington Capitals are in against the Boston Bruins tonight, and this promises to be an interesting one. Now, Boston's been very good at home. Capitals have been very good at home and very good on the road. They have the exact same home record and road record. Do those Washington Capitals, which is wacky and crazy, but it's part of the reason why we can look at the Caps right now and say, yeah, they're kind of back. They're 26, 12, and 4 right now, and the Boston Bruins are 25, 14, and 4. In their last 10, Capitals are 6, 3, and 1. They've won 2 in a row. The Bruins are 8 and 2. They've won 5 in a row. And yeah, I'm starting to believe. Hate it when I start to believe, because then there's always that crash on the other side. Versus the East, the Capitals are an intimidating 18, 5, and 2 versus the East. Boston's 15, 10, and 1. So, yeah. Both of them pretty good against their own conference. A little bit of an edge to the Capitals there. When we're looking at the top scorers, of course, Ovechkin for the Capitals, 30 goals, 17 assists. Backstrom, 10 goals, 34 assists. Carlson, 6 goals, 35 assists. Kuznetsov, 7 goals, 29 assists. Connolly, 9 goals, 15 assists. Verana, 14 goals, 10 assists. Wilson, 13 goals, 8 assists. Eller, 6 goals, 12 assists. 6 goals, 14 assists, I should say. Oshie, 13 goals, 5 assists. And Matt Niskanen rounds out the top 10 with 5 goals and 11 assists. On the Boston side, Pastrnak, 25 goals, 27 assists for him to lead the Bruins. Marchand, 16 goals, 31 assists. Bergeron, 14 goals, 24 assists. Krejci, 7 goals, 26 assists. And I had wondered if his totals would start waning after the return of Bergeron, and they have. Krug, 4 goals, 24 assists. DeBrusk, 14 goals, 3 assists. Grzelcyk, 1 goal, 11 assists. Heinen, 5 goals, 6 assists. Backus, 4 goals, 7 assists. And the he can't stay healthy Charlie McAvoy rounds out the top 10 at 1 goal, 10 assists. I worry about Charlie McAvoy. He gets hurt a lot. Goaltenders, this is the only game with both goaltenders being confirmed for today. At this point when I'm recording it. Braden Holtby, 16, 10, and 2 will be your starter. 2.89 goals against, 910 save percentage. Copley is the backup. Is he starting to push Holtby a little bit? He's 10, 2, and 2 with a 2.59 goals against, 916 save percentage. On the Boston side, it will be Tuukka Rask again. Anybody who thinks that Halak has stolen the job of Rask full time, I even saw a trade proposal on the Canucks board, which was basically Rask to the Bruins, and Jake Allen going to Boston, and the thread being along the lines of, well, Halak's been great, so they don't really need Rask anymore. That's no, really no. I didn't respond or anything. I looked at that and I went, oh, okay, all right. Rask is 12, 8, and 2. He is starting tonight. 2.43 goals against, 920 save percentage. Halak, 13, 6, and 2. 2.36 goals against, 926 save percentage. There's only 6 percentage points between them now. At one point this year, it was as high as, I believe, 30. So, while Halak has put up excellent stats overall, they have come down lately, and Rask's have been getting better. So, yeah, Boston's not going to take a good goaltending situation and make it so they're one injury away from having a bad goaltending situation. Right now, it would take 2 goalie injuries before you have a whole lot to worry about if you're a Bruins fan, whereas a lot of teams don't have that luxury. And because Halak came into play on a cheap contract, there's really no reason to do anything if you're Boston right now. I would be very surprised if they make a big splash at all at the trade deadline. I think just leave things the way they are. There's no reason to bring in anybody big. They tried that last year with Nash. Didn't work. So I would say just show faith in these guys and just let it go. And just, maybe if it does Don Sweeney go into the locker room and say, yeah, no, we believe in you guys. We're not bringing anybody in. Nobody's losing their jobs. Go out there and play hockey. There are occasions where GMs have done that and it's worked. Brian Burke, for instance, did that in Vancouver before they turned it around, and right after that speech, they went nuts and they made the playoffs that year. It's great. Arizona, 16, 21 and 3, but they're decent away from home. Vancouver, 20, 21 and 4, but they're almost never at home. They've had 6-game road trips. 6-8 game road trips. Yeah, okay. All right, brain. Whatever you're thinking. I know they've had 3 6-game road trips. So when people talk about the Canucks and their struggles to score and whatnot, as I have, that is a big part of it. I think. I don't point as much to the injury to Elias Pettersson as I point to the fact that they've been on the road a lot, and they've been long, brutal road trips. So after another long, brutal road trip, we'll see if they can get it back on track again. They're 20, 21 and 4 to the 16, 21 and 3 record of the Arizona Coyotes over their last 10. The Coyotes are 4, 5 and 1. They won their last game. Vancouver's 5 and 5. They've lost their last 2. And tonight it would be nice if they could score a goal. And they're against a team that's coming into almost every game saying it would be nice if we could score a goal. On the road, Arizona's 10, 9 and 1. At home, Vancouver's 9, 9 and 1. Versus the West, Arizona's 11, 10 and 2 versus the West. Vancouver's 12, 11 and 2. I had a really hard time differentiating these teams when I was setting this up last night. Yeah, because their records are similar when you get into the numbers beyond just the record. Last 10, home and road versus West. There's very little to choose between the two. And Arizona can absolutely be a trap game for Vancouver. The thing is, Vancouver doesn't have a record that's strong enough for me to actually say there's a trap game up there. Scoring. Clayton Keller, 9 goals, 21 assists, so 30 points to lead the team. It's pretty anemic. Schmaltz, who's out for the year, 7 goals, 18 assists. The sad thing is that his 25 points will likely remain on the board the rest of the year, as there aren't enough scorers in Arizona to push him out of there. Ekman Larson, 5 goals, 18 assists. Galchenyuk, 7 goals, 14 assists for 21 points. They really need Galchenyuk to get going now. Stepan, 8 goals, 10 assists. Richardson, 11 goals, 4 assists. Goligoski, 2 goals, 13 assists. Panik, 7 goals, 7 assists. Cousins, 4 goals, 10 assists. And Christian Fischer, 10 goals, 2 assists to round out the top 10 for Arizona. And it's not a great top 10. But on the Vancouver side, it's not a whole lot better when you get past the top couple of guys. Pettersson, 22 goals, 20 assists. Horvat, 17 goals, 19 assists. Besser, 14 goals, 14 assists. Goldobin, 5 goals, 18 assists. And there's a lot of speculation that Goldobin's on his way out of Vancouver. Some people love that, and some people hate it. Edler, 4 goals, 15 assists. Virtanen, 11 goals, 7 assists. Roussel, 4 goals, 13 assists. Eriksson, 7 goals, 9 assists. Granlund, 6 goals, 8 assists. And Hutton rounds out the top 10 with 4 goals and 10 assists. Goaltenders, no confirmation here. I would kind of think Hill. Kemper, though, has been pretty solid, too. 6, 11, and 3. 2.69 goals against, 9.14 save percentage. Hill, 7 and 4, 2.36 goals against, 9.15 save percentage for him. On the Vancouver side, I don't know, this might be a good spot to throw Thatcher Demko into his first game. But until they do that, Markstrom is likely 17, 12, and 3, 2.86 goals against, 9.08 save percentage. So Markstrom, even after that fantastic run, his save percentage still below average. But he has had a pretty solid run. And those 17 wins are impressive, considering the team in front of him and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm not holding out a whole lot of hope there. Dallas is on the road, but they're in Philly. Philly's at home. These are not situations that are advantageous to either team. And it'll be really interesting to see how this works out tonight for the Dallas Stars, who are 23, 17, and 4 against the 15, 22, and 6 Philadelphia Flyers. It's been sad. 6, 3, and 1 is the record of the Dallas Stars over the last 10. They won their last game. 1-7-8 is the record of the Philadelphia Flyers over their last 10, and they've lost 8 in a row. They're probably looking over to the Western Conference and going, "Oh, Anaheim's at 9, huh? We can hit 9." On the road, Dallas is 9-12-2. At home, Philadelphia is 7-10-3. So they've won 7 out of 20 at home. That's not gonna help the faithful at home. Versus the East, Dallas is 9-10-2, and versus the West, Philadelphia is 7-9-3. So those numbers mildly favor Dallas. Everything in this kind of mildly favors Dallas. This is as close to a slam dunk on the road as you're going to get outside of Arizona, and so we'll see what they do with it tonight. Sagan's their leading scorer at 17 goals, 25 assists. Radulov, 14 goals, 25 assists. Jamie Benn, 17 goals, 15 assists. Spezza, 6 goals, 15 assists. Heiskanen, 9 goals, 11 assists. Klingberg, 6 goals, 14 assists. Lindell, 6 goals, 11 assists. Shore, 5 goals, 12 assists. Foxa, 7 goals, 9 assists. And Matthias Janmark, 3 goals, 11 assists to round out the top 10 for the Dallas Stars. On the Philly side of things, Giroux, 14 goals, 33 assists. Voracek, 11 goals, 24 assists. Couturier, 15 goals, 16 assists. Konechny, 10 goals, 13 assists. Simmons, 13 goals, 6 assists. Gostisbehere, 5 goals, 12 assists. Lawton, 7 goals, 8 assists. Van Riemsdyk, 6 goals, 8 assists. And I know he's been dealing with injury and whatnot, but I really think Philly wants more out of him than what they've been getting. Provorov, 4 goals, 9 assists. And Sanheim, same totals, 4 goals, 9 assists. So we'll see if Van Riemsdyk can get things going and maybe help with that secondary scoring for the team. And what Philly's going to do here. Chuck Fletcher's been watching for a while. Remember, he took over and it was Fletcher's going to watch and he's going to make a move. How long are you going to watch there, Chuck? Because now might be a good time to make a move. And adding Mike McKenna is not that move. Goaltenders, Hudobin's been confirmed for Dallas. He's 8-7-2, 2.52 goals against, 9.24 save percentage. Bishop, 15-10-2, 2.36 goals against, 9.22 save percentage. On the Philadelphia side of things, McKenna seems confident he's staying in Philly on some level because he has a new mask that he's going to debut soon here. Neuwirth is 1-4-1, 4.27 goals against, 8.59 save percentage. McKenna's 1-5-1, 3.99 goals against, 8.92 save percentage. Carter Hart, who I would probably go with in this one, 2-4-1, 2.68 goals against, 9.09 save percentage. There are so many goaltenders that have come through Philly. Of course, I don't know that I mentioned it in that review or not, or in the previews, but Philadelphia has now used 7 goaltenders, which is tied for the NHL record with the Quebec Nordiques from that disastrous season that I talked about in one of my really, truly awful seasons. So, Philadelphia, it's kind of a truly awful season, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. San Jose, 25-13-7, and against the Vegas Golden Knights, who are 27-15-4. And if you're going to the Vegas game and you got season tickets, maybe call and verify. 6-2-2 is the record of the San Jose Sharks in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row. Vegas is 8-0-2, and they've won 7 in a row. Vegas has been playing pretty darn solid hockey. This is their first big test, though, in about a week and a half. And San Jose is going to bring it. Now, of course, against San Jose, Vegas has a pretty solid record. So we'll see if San Jose's overcome that. If the addition of Erik Karlsson has really allowed San Jose to make that jump or not. Over their or on the road, San Jose's 10-9-3. At home, Vegas is 15-3-3. I've talked before about how the road record of the San Jose Sharks has kind of hurt them, and now's a good time to turn that around as well. Versus the West, however, San Jose 17-7-3, and versus the West, Vegas is 16-6-2. So both of them are very good against their own conference. Top 10 scorers for each team. On the San Jose side, Burns leads them with 8 goals, 41 assists. Just an insane season being enjoyed by Brent Burns. Couture, 16 goals, 26 assists. Karlsson is now number 3 on the scoring list, 3 goals, 38 assists. Yeah. Yeah, it's finally happened. They have the two-headed beast on the blue line. Meyer, 18 goals, 22 assists. Pavelski, 25 goals, 13 assists. Hurdle, 15 goals, 20 assists. Kane, 16 goals, 17 assists. Donskoy, 13 goals, 11 assists. LeBanc, 4 goals, 20 assists. And Joe Thornton, with 8 goals, 12 assists, 20 points, is top 10 in scoring. On the Vegas side of things, Alex Tuck, 14 goals, 20 assists. Marchessault, 14 goals, 17 assists. Carlson, 15 goals, 15 assists. Smith, 9 goals, 18 assists. Eakin, 13 goals, 12 assists. Pacioretty, 12 goals, 10 assists. Theodore, 4 goals, 16 assists. Miller, 2 goals, 15 assists. Schmidt, 4 goals, 11 assists. And Reeves, 8 goals, 6 assists. Not pictured. Brandon Peary, who is, I'm going to go ahead and say playing tonight in his 9th game. The whole waivers argument's going to take on a whole different point of view once he hits game 10, and that'll be interesting. The goaltending side, I kind of expect Jones in this one because it's a big game. But statistically, there's not a huge difference between Dell and Jones. Dell is 6-5-3, 3.02 goals against, 891 save percentage. Wins might be the big difference. As Jones is 19-8-4, 2.82 goals against, 899 save percentage. Almost 900, Martin. But now you got Vegas, so come on, prove me wrong. I expect Fleury. Fleury's 25-10-4, 2.46 goals against, 912 save percentage. Subban is 2-5 with a 2.95 goals against, 903 save percentage. The interesting thing to me about Vegas right now is that I hear a lot of praise towards Fleury and his role in this winning streak, and I'm not disagreeing, but he hasn't had nearly as much to do with the winning streak this year as he would have last year. Vegas can score. Vegas can hold their own against a lot of teams, almost everybody. And then I think about them going, well, maybe not, just straight goal scoring. I would still put a few teams ahead of them, but they're able to score, and so Fleury doesn't really have to be a world beater. He just has to be pretty good. And that's kind of where Fleury's been in a lot of games this year. But he's had plenty of wins where he hasn't been great. He just hasn't had to be that great to win them. But 25 wins, that causes that whole narrative right there. But I think part of that, too, is the lack of faith in Subban. So, anyways, next up, Montreal. The Habs, 23-16-5, in a dogfight for that last playoff spot in the East. And they're in against the St. Louis Blues, who are in a dogfight with kind of themselves. 23-16-5 against 17-20-4. The Doug Wickenheiser Cup, I guess you could call this. That's a bit of an obscure reference. Think about Montreal, St. Louis. Yeah, whatever. I'm trying to think of something clever. The Jacques Plante Cup, I guess. Anyways, played for both teams. The Montreal Canadiens are 6-4 in their last 10. They won their last game. St. Louis, of course, is 5-5, and they lost their last game because they're mediocre. This is what they do. They win a game, they lose a game, they win a game, they lose a game. And when you're below 500, you can't afford to do that. That takes you further out of the playoff position. It takes you out of the picture completely. On the road, Montreal's 12-7-3. At home, St. Louis is 10-13-2. Versus the West, Montreal's 10-8, and versus the East, St. Louis is 6-6. So, yeah, there's some hope for St. Louis here in that they're not horrible against the East, but their home record isn't great. And while they're due for a win because they're mediocre and it's what they do, they get a win every other game. Against Montreal, it could be a bit of a test here. When you look at the top 10 scorers, Domi, of course, leads Montreal with 14 goals, 25 assists. Tatar, 14 goals, 19 assists. Drouin, 13 goals, 20 assists. Petrie, 9 goals, 21 assists. Danault, 7 goals, 21 assists. Gallagher, 16 goals, 9 assists. Shaw, 11 goals, 13 assists. Lehkonen, 7 goals, 14 assists. Kotkaniemi, 4 goals, 16 assists. Byron, 9 goals, 6 assists. On the St. Louis side of things, O'Reilly, 16 goals, 24 assists. Perron, 15 goals, 15 assists. Tarasenko, 12 goals, 12 assists. Shen, 9 goals, 15 assists. Bozak, 6 goals, 12 assists. Schwartz, 3 goals, 14 assists. Dunn also has 3 goals, 14 assists. Steen, 6 goals, 9 assists. Pietrangelo, 5 goals, 10 assists. And Thomas with 4 goals and 9 assists. Rounds out the top 10 for the St. Louis Blues. Goaltending, I expect Price in this one. 16, 12, and 4, 2.71 goals against, 909 save percentage. Antiniemi is the backup. 7, 4, and 1, 3.85 goals against, 886 save percentage. I expect Allen for St. Louis. Bennington's 1-0-0 with a 1.87 goals against, 920 save percentage. Allen is 14, 14, and 4, 3.07 goals against, 896 save percentage. And Allen has a good game followed by a bad game. Usually might be related to the mediocre record for St. Louis. I don't know. That's something for archaeologists to dig up someday and figure out what was going on there, I guess. I can't see Montreal losing this one, to be honest, because, again, they're in a dogfight in the East, and St. Louis, in key games, seems to be able to just pretty much disappoint their fans this year. And it'll be interesting to see what happens, because Tarasenko seems to be starting to wake up. I personally, if I was the GM of the Blues, I would be very, very hesitant to trade Tarasenko. He's the biggest name on the market, it seems. I would be very worried about him going somewhere else, scoring 20 goals from here on in the rest of the year, and whatever I get back, never making up for what I lost. Tarasenko's not an old player either. I could see if he was a veteran, but he's not old. And that could absolutely come back and bite him. So we'll see what general manager Armstrong does in St. Louis. All right, that being said, let us move on. And we are up to the Ottawa Senators. Those strutting. Are they strutting yet? They won last night. They beat the Ducks. I would imagine going into last night, they probably had a motto like, don't outsuck the Ducks. And they didn't outsuck the Ducks. The Ducks outsucked the Sens, which doesn't rhyme. That's not nearly as much fun. Ottawa's 16, 23, and 5 overall. And LA is 17, 24, and 3 overall. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these teams have won a combined 33 games, which is, it's the same as what Tampa's won this year. These two teams put together have won as many games as Tampa Bay in the East. It's a pretty good season. No, it's not. No. And let's make no mistake that Ottawa, while coming off of a win last night, they're not really in a position yet where we can talk about any kind of recovery. It's going to require about a 9 or a 10 game winning streak, which I don't think they have it in them. But as there's no appetite for a full-on tank, there's no reason to lose either. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10 of those Senators, whereas the Kings are 6-4. Ottawa won their last game. LA lost their last game. On the road, Ottawa's 5-14-1 now. At home, LA's 10-12-1. So as poor as LA's home record is, it's nowhere near as bad as Ottawa's road record. 5-7-3 is the record of the Senators against the West. 5-10-2 is the record of the LA Kings against the East. Oh man, this tale of the tape. It's sad. It's sad at this point. And I have no idea what's going to happen. Can Ottawa win back-to-back games in California? A year ago, I would have said no way. California's kind of that Death Valley you go through, and then you come out and you're lucky if you're not all beat up and you lost 3 games. But not this year, not as much. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here, because one of these teams can score and one of them has trouble keeping pucks out of their net. Although last night Ottawa did pretty well at keeping the puck out of their net. Let's take a look at the numbers. Stone leads Ottawa in scoring with 20 goals, 28 assists. Duchesne, 18 goals, 24 assists. Chabot, 10 goals, 28 assists. Dzingel, 17 goals, 14 assists. Tierney, 4 goals, 23 assists, 27 points. White, 11 goals, 15 assists for 26 points. Ryan, 8 goals, 18 assists. Bodker, 5 goals, 20 assists. Kachuk, 10 goals, 10 assists for 20 points. And Smith, 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points to round out the top 10 scorers there. And that should have been an 18 for Ryan. So if you can see from there, if you're going to wait, it's 16. No, it was 18. He has 26 points. It'll be interesting to see which of their depth scorers show up tonight. If Colin White can get on a bit of a run, that wouldn't hurt. Stone is always going to be a solid scorer, apparently, for Ottawa. Whatever he's been eating and drinking over the last year and a half, it agrees with him very much. And as soon as they can get a contract done with Stone, the sooner the better, really honestly. On the LA side of things, Kopitar, 11 goals, 18 assists. He leads them in scoring there. Brown, 11 goals, 14 assists. Doughty, 4 goals, 21 assists. Iafallo, 9 goals, 12 assists. Carter, 8 goals, 11 assists. Kovalchuk, 7 goals, 12 assists. Muzzin, 4 goals, 13 assists. Toffoli, 7 goals, 9 assists. Kempe, 5 goals, 7 assists. And Martinez, still in the top 10, 3 goals, 8 assists. On the goaltending front, I would expect Högberg tonight. Nelson started last night. Nelson's now 4-10-1. That was his first win since October last night. 3.03 goals against, 896 save percentage. Högberg, 0-2-1, 4.09 goals against, 884 save percentage. On the LA side, I expect Quick 7-10-2, 2.88 goals against, 902 save percentage. Jack Campbell, on the other hand, 5-9-0, 2.21 goals against, 930 save percentage. It is going to be a battle. Kind of, sort of. That being said, I'm now going to switch boards. Alrighty. Moving on. Toronto in against the New Jersey Devils. This kind of looks like a lopsided matchup because it kind of is. And yet, New Jersey's not bad at home. They really aren't. Now against the East, yeah, overall, yeah. Toronto's 27-13-2. New Jersey 16-19-7 over their last 10. Toronto is 6-3-1 with a loss in their last game. The New Jersey Devils 5-5 and they lost 2 in a row. On the road, Toronto's 14-5-1. At home, New Jersey's 11-4-4. Versus the East, Toronto is 15-8-2. Versus the East, New Jersey's 9-14-3. So 9 wins in 26 games against your own conference equals golfing in April. That certainly seems to be a mathematical situation that New Jersey finds themselves in. Whereas Toronto, the latest panic is they're having trouble scoring. But that's going to happen over any 82-game season. So I'm not in any kind of panic about it. And I don't think Toronto really should be. And I would be very surprised if Kyle Dubas or any of them are really overly concerned. Leading scorers, Marner, 15 goals, 40 assists. Tavares, 27 goals, 20 assists. They are your big two for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And yet, the next two, not bad. Riley, 13 goals, 32 assists. I believe we'll find out today whether or not Riley got that vote in as the last man for for his division. Matthews, 20 goals, 19 assists. Kapanen, 14 goals, 11 assists. Kadri, 9 goals, 16 assists. Gardner, 2 goals, 21 assists. Marleau, 10 goals, 10 assists. It has been a while since we saw Patrick Marleau on the score sheet. Janssen, 9 goals, 10 assists. And Zach Hyman, 7 goals and 8 assists. It's to the point with Marleau where I'm saying, okay, now I can qualify him as slumping. But Marleau, there's other things he does for the team. They don't really need his scoring as much as on the leadership and experience side of things. That's kind of why he was brought in. On the New Jersey side, Hall is still their leading scorer despite missing a bunch of games lately. 11 goals, 26 assists. Palmieri, 20 goals, 16 assists. Hischier, 12 goals, 17 assists. Zajac, 10 goals, 14 assists. Severson, 5 goals, 15 assists. Boyle, 11 goals, 5 assists. Bratt, 3 goals, 13 assists. Johansson, 6 goals, 9 assists. And Sami Vatanen, 3 goals, 12 assists. Rounds out your top 10 for the Devils. Goaltenders, Hutchinson's been confirmed. He is 2-3-2 now with a 3.49 goals against, 878 save percentage. Yeah. Anderson, when is he coming back? He's 29-1, 2.5 goals against, 923 save percentage. Since Hutchinson's starting again, I'll assume it's not tonight. On the New Jersey side, I'd go with Blackwood personally. He's 3-2, 1.83 goals against, 947 save percentage. Kincaid is now 13-12-6 with a 3.07 goals against, 898 save percentage. There's a lot of ouch in those numbers for Kincaid. This was a year where he really could have just taken the ball and run with it. And he's left the door open to this kid to come in. And, you know, he's not going to steal his job this year, but training camp next fall, you've got to think. If you're Ray Shero, you're keeping all your options open, and Kincaid may not be your starter. He might be the guy you're dangling out there, knowing that goaltending is just an absolute minefield, and maybe Kincaid would bring back a pretty solid return. So there you go. That being said, for tonight's game, I'd be very surprised if Toronto doesn't win this. I'm very, very surprised. Florida in against Edmonton. These are two hapless organizations right now. And really, Florida has some massive issues going on with their goaltending, which is not where you would expect it. Not with Luongo and Reimer both being healthy, right? Edmonton, their problems. There's goaltending issues. There's a lot of issues. And, wow, I wrote Connor instead of McDavid. I'm really on a personal level with Connor McDavid today. So, yeah, that's kind of impressive. Connor. Everybody else gets a last name, but not McDavid. He's just Connor. In fact, I'll just take the black marker here. And I'll just put Connor M. Connor M. That way people don't think I mean Kyle Connor. Connor M. Good old Connor. Yeah, tell you. Grew up together. He's a lot older than he looks. 17, 17, and 7 is the record of the Florida Panthers. 20, 20, and 3 is the record of the Edmonton Oilers. This is kind of a pick 'em. Last 10, Florida 5, 4, and 1, but they've lost 3 in a row. The Oilers 2 and 8. They've lost their last game. On the road, Florida's 9-11 and 2, and the Oilers are 10-9 and 1. Versus the West, 3-6 and 1 is the record of the Florida Panthers, whereas versus the East, the Oilers are 6-6 and 1. Ouch. Now, I would imagine Luongo would carry a pretty solid record against the Oilers from when he was with the Canucks, but all bets are off with Luongo right now. Leading scorers for this game, Huberdeau, 11 goals, 35 assists. Barkov, 17 goals, 26 assists. Hoffman, 20 goals, 18 assists. Dadonov, 17 goals, 19 assists. Yandel, 6 goals, 29 assists. Vetrano, 11 goals, 6 assists. Ekblad, 8 goals, 9 assists. McCann, 7 goals, 10 assists. Matheson, 2 goals, 13 assists. Trocheck still on the board at 3 goals, 11 assists again. These guys, hit the injury bug and then they stay on the board in the same spot. It does kind of show a lack of upward movement from beneath them. On the Oilers side, Connor McDavid, 24 goals, 39 assists, leads the way for the Oilers, of course. Draisaitl, 23 goals, 29 assists. Nugent Hopkins, 14 goals, 25 assists. Chason, 17 goals, 4 assists. Nurse, 5 goals, 15 assists. Clefbaum, 3 goals, 12 assists. I've mentioned how much they miss Oscar Clefbaum, right? This falling off a cliff pretty much happened when Oscar Clefbaum got hurt. Kara, 2 goals, 11 assists. Larson, 1 goal, 11 assists. Lucic, 2 goals. In your face, Internet. 2 goals now for Lucic, 7 assists. And 1 goal, 7 assists for Chris Russell to round out the top 10. Of course, Matt Benning also has a goal and 7 assists. Goaltenders, with Florida, I have no idea where they're going to go with this. Luongo didn't look great in the last game. Reimer's 8-7 and 4 with a 3.18 goals against, 8.96 save percentage. Luongo 8-9 and 1, 3.37 goals against, 8.92 save percentage. Not great. On the Oilers side, I expect Koskinen here, but Koskinen's work's been kind of dropping lately too, and I know people talk about the defense in front of him, but you can't give Koskinen a pass and then say Talbot's been awful at the same time. Koskinen's 12-8 and 1, 2.72 goals against, 9.13 save percentage. Talbot's 8-12 and 2, 3.2 goals against, 8.96 save percentage. And this is also kind of a somebody's got to win this game, just not quite to the same extent as, say, like Ottawa and LA. Yeah, that one's definitely got that going for it. Next up, Winnipeg and Minnesota. Now, my wife and I share a lot in common. One thing we don't share in common is favorite teams. We both enjoy the Canucks. I have Boston and Dallas, who are my second and third favorites, and hers are Winnipeg and Minnesota, which is okay. That's fine. Winnipeg's 27-13 and 2. Minnesota's 21-18 and 3. And if she were down here, she'd tell you she's not happy with the way either team is playing right now. Winnipeg 6 and 4. They've won 2 in a row. She doesn't like how they get out to leads and then let the other team get into it. And as soon as they start kind of fumbling that lead, she'll say, see, I told you. See, look what they're doing. Anyways, And Minnesota's 4-5-1. They lost their last game. But Minnesota's been playing better. They've won 3 out of 4, so that's a better way of putting it, I guess. On the road, Winnipeg's 12-7 at home. The Minnesota Wild are 10-7-3 versus the West. Winnipeg is 17-8-1. Minnesota's 14-11-2. The numbers favor Winnipeg, but I don't count out a desperate team like Minnesota. Not easily. Blake Wheeler, 7 goals, 48 assists, leads the Winnipeg Jets in scoring. Scheifele, 23 goals, 30 assists. Laine, 24 goals, 8 assists. They want more out of Laine. It's weird to say about somebody who's on pace for over 40 goals, but I really think they want more consistent production out of Laine. Connor, not McDavid. This is Kyle Connor this time. 15 goals, 15 assists. Bufflin, 4 goals, 25 assists. Ehlers, 15 goals, 12 assists. Morrissey, 5 goals, 20 assists. Little, 8 goals, 15 assists. Trouba, 4 goals, 17 assists. Matthew Perreault and his Flo, 9 goals, 8 assists. On the Minnesota side of things, Michael Granlund, 12 goals, 27 assists. Parise, 19 goals, 19 assists. Suter, 4 goals, 23 assists. Stahl, 13 goals, 13 assists. I'm starting to wonder if Stahl might be a guy who goes at the deadline. I am, because his production is not as high as it was the first couple years, and I don't know. They do have the oldest team in the league. You might look at getting younger. Spurgeon, 7 goals, 17 assists. Koivu, 6 goals, 18 assists. Dumba, 12 goals, 10 assists. Coyle, 7 goals, 15 assists. Zucker, 10 goals, 10 assists. And Niederreiter with 7 goals, 13 assists. Rounds out the top 10 for the Minnesota Wild. So, pretty solid top 10. In terms of elite scorers, there's not a lot with Minnesota, but there's a lot of consistent guys. There's some depth there too. Hellebuck's been confirmed as the starter, which is starting to baffle people. I've seen a couple articles about how Brossoit at 8-1-1, 2.11 goals against, 939 save percentage, has better numbers, much better numbers, but they're going to write Hellebuck, who is 19-12-1, 2.86 goals against, 909 save percentage, and he has been shaky at times lately. Stalock is 5-4, 2.75 goals against, 898 save percentage. I expect Dubnyk tonight. He's 16-4-3, 2.56 goals against, 915 save percentage. So if you're following along at home and you're saying, all right, Shannon, who do you think? I would expect Winnipeg to win this one. That being said, there have been games lately, Winnipeg, I expect them to win, and they didn't. So it'll be a very interesting game, to say the least, because in this house, when they play against each other, it's always interesting to see who my wife's pulling for. I'm guessing she'll be cheering for the Jets between the two, but I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys know in the review, because I know people are going to care. That's the thing, right? All right. Next up, Islanders and Rangers. This is an important game for the Islanders. This is a hockey game for the Rangers. The Rangers, important games are behind them unless they can go on a run. They kind of need to start one now. They've been on a run in the wrong direction. The Islanders are 23-14-4. The Rangers are 17-18-7, winning 17 out of 42. Will get you a decent draft pick. 8-2 is the record of the Islanders over their last 10. They lost their last game. The Rangers are 3-5-2 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row, including that embarrassing loss against Arizona. So for the Rangers, there's a lot of pride on the line. The good news is the Rangers at home are much better than the Rangers on the road. The Islanders on the road are a good team too, however, at 13-8-1. The Rangers are 11-5-5 versus the East. The Islanders are an impressive 15-6-4 versus the East. The Rangers, a little more mediocre, 8-10-4. 8 wins and 22 on against your own conference. Not going to get it done. And tonight they got an Islanders team that has beaten them this year. I know of at least one occasion where they've beaten the Rangers. And to do so tonight, Barzal will be the leader for the Islanders. 12 goals, 26 assists. Lee, 15 goals, 16 assists. Bailey, 8 goals, 23 assists. Nelson, 15 goals, 14 assists. Filppula, 9 goals, 10 assists. Eberle, 8 goals, 10 assists. Pulak, 3 goals, 15 assists. Cizikas, 10 goals, 7 assists. Beauvillier, 11 goals, 5 assists. Mayfield, 3 goals, 12 assists. Rounds out the top 10 for the New York Islanders. On the Rangers side of things, Zibanejad, 12 goals, 23 assists. Hayes, 10 goals, 23 assists. Kreider, 20 goals and 12 assists. VC, 10 goals, 11 assists. Pionk, 5 goals, 14 assists. Fast, 6 goals, 9 assists. Zuccarello, 4 goals, 11 assists. And Nemesnikov has that exact same total. Howden, 4 goals, 10 assists. And Hedel, 6 goals, 7 assists. Still on the board, still at the top 10, still with the same total. I cannot shake this cough. I really, really hope people out there are dealing with this. I never stay sick for this long. Doesn't happen. Anyways, Leonard, I would expect, is the starter tonight, which would make Grace the backup. Grace is 12, 8, and 1. 2.69 goals against, 914 save percentage. Leonard, 11, 6, and 3. His other numbers are very impressive. 2.18 goals against, 927 save percentage. On the Rangers side of things, I expect Lundqvist. Lundqvist is 12, 11, and 7. 3.04 goals against, 909 save percentage. Lundqvist's numbers have been dropping since he was named to the All-Star team. Georgiev, 5 and 7. 3.33 goals against, 897 save percentage. Not to insinuate that they're dropping because he's on the All-Star team, but just by coincidence, they've been dropping since he was named to the All-Star team. I like the Rangers in this game. No, I don't. No, Islanders. Carry the one. Yeah, Islanders. But again, with the Rangers at home, it's kind of a toss-up because these two teams usually will bring out the best in one another. And with the Rangers being as downtrodden as they are, maybe they can come out with a win tonight against the Islanders. I don't know, it should be a close one, however. Most of the games are now. As the scoring drops, all the games get pretty close. Makes for a lot of fun. Next up, Nashville. Speaking of a lot of fun, the Nashville Predators are once again having fun. And they're having fun because they're winning. Winning will do that. 27, 15, and 3 in all as well. Peter Laviolette was interviewed in game last night, and he talked about how all the depth guys came up and played really, really well in the absence of guys like Forsberg and Arvidsson. And all I could think was, yeah, but didn't you have a losing record at that point? Like, I get what he's saying. I get it. But when he kept talking about keeping us afloat, and I thought, well, not really. You guys have kind of played poorly for about a month. So I'm not saying it's not good that these guys got ice time and got a chance to play, but the overall record wasn't great. So that really the point of it is Nashville's starting to play like Nashville again, which is bad for the West. 27, 15, and 3 is their overall record. The Columbus Blue Jackets are 24, 15, and 3. So 3 games in hand for Columbus on a team that's not in their conference, so that really doesn't mean anything. Over their last 10, Nashville's 5, 4, and 1, but they've won 3 in a row. Columbus is 7 and 3. They lost their last game. On the road, Nashville's 12, 8, and 3. At home, Columbus is 11, 8, and 2. Columbus is not happy with their home record. No, Tortorella's not happy with Columbus's home record. Versus the East, Nashville 14, 3, and 2 versus the West, Columbus 8, 5, and 2. But don't ask the coach. He doesn't want to tell you. If you're media of any sort, he's not going to want to tell you. Now, on the scoring side of things, it's funny because these teams don't jump out at you with any one individual other than one guy in Columbus kind of jumps out. But on the Nashville side, not really. Now, that's going to change because now that Forsberg and Arvidsson are back, they're going to go right up the charts. Johansson, 8 goals, 30 assists, still leads the team in scoring. Ekholm, 5 goals, 27 assists. Yossi, 7 goals, 24 assists. Fiala, 8 goals, 18 assists. Smith, 14 goals, 11 assists. Forsberg, 16 goals, 8 assists. Ellis, 4 goals, 16 assists. Arvidsson, 13 goals, 6 assists. Sissons, 9 goals, 10 assists. And Bonino, 8 goals and 10 assists to round out the top 10 scoring for the Nashville Predators. On the Columbus side, Panarin, 13 goals, 32 assists. Atkinson, that's the eye popper right there, 24 goals, 18 assists. He's on pace for almost 50 goals. Pretty darn close. Dubois, 16 goals, 21 assists. Smith, 7 goals, 18 assists. Okay, what I did there was I Doctor Who'd it. That's Jones with 7 goals and 18 assists. By Doctor Who, I meant I switched Smith and Jones. you'd have to be a Doctor Who fan to know what Smith and Jones is. It's an episode of the show. And if I'm explaining it still at this point, I should probably stop and move on. But I've switched it to Jones because, yeah, as soon as I saw Smith, I'm like, there's no Smith with 25 points for Columbus. I just mixed up generic names. Werenski, 9 goals, 14 assists. Foligno, 10 goals, 10 assists. Murray, 1 goal, 19 assists. Josh Anderson, 15 goals, 4 assists. Wenberg, 1 goal, 18 assists. Jenner, 6 goals, 12 assists to round out the top 10 scoring for Columbus. Goaltending, I expect Rinne in this one. Saros is 10, 5, and 1, 2.71 goals against, 906 save percentage. Rinne, 17, 10, and 2, 2.26 goals against, 920 save percentage. His save percentage has started coming up again. On the Columbus side of things, I expect Bobrovsky. He's 18, 13, and 1, 2.87 goals against, 906 save percentage. Korpisalo, 6, 2, and 2, 3.29 goals against, 889 save percentage. So if Columbus is going to come up with a big game to show that, yep, they are still capable of hanging with the big boys, and not just a win, but a convincing, like a nice convincing 4-1, 5-2 kind of win. This is their chance to do it, and catching Nashville at the back end of a back-to-back, that would help as well. But Columbus, we'll see what they do tonight. Should be a very interesting game, and then don't miss the post-game interviews with Tortorella. Those are always entertaining. Whether they win or they lose, they're very entertaining. It's fun to watch a coach who looks like he wants to strangle everybody asking him questions. Finally, last but not least, Carolina in against Tampa. Carolina's 20-17-5, Tampa's 33-8-2. 33 wins for Tampa. Can somebody else have a win? No? All right. But Carolina's on a nice winning streak, and you will not find a better test for your winning streak than those Tampa Bay Lightning. Carolina, 6-4. They've won 5 in a row. I'm just going to claim at this point that I've been talking for almost a full hour, and my brain goes, yeah, I'm done. Anyway, 6-4 is the record of the Carolina Hurricanes in their last 10. They've won 5 in a row. 8-1-1 is the record for Tampa. They've won their last game. Of course, they allowed the rest of the NHL to get a win on them 2 games ago, meaning from now till the end of the year, they'll probably just win out. 9-10-1 is the record of Carolina on the road. 18-4 is the record of Tampa at home. Now, when you get into the record against their own conference, this is where it gets really obscene. So if you've got small children, now's the time to turn them away from the TV, the phone, whatever, computer. 13-11-3 is the record of the Carolina Hurricanes versus the East. Tampa's 22-2. That's insane. That's just not possible. It's not. I refuse to accept that as an actual record. It is insane. It's almost video worthy that I could look at the record against the East and how they've torn the East apart, because it's been impressive. Anyway, scoring leaders. Aho leads the way for Carolina with 16 goals, 29 assists. Teravainen, 10 goals, 24 assists. Williams, 10 goals, 14 assists. Ferland, 12 goals, 8 assists. Svechnikov, 11 goals, 8 assists. Jacob Slavin, 5 goals, 11 assists. He started putting up some points and goals. Hamilton, 6 goals, 9 assists. His goal streak was ended at 3 the other night. Falk, 3 goals, 12 assists. Walmark, 3 goals, 10 assists. And Martinuk rounds out your top 10 with 9 goals and 3 assists. On the Tampa side of things, a lot of scoring there. Kucherov, 21 goals and 50 assists. Dear Lord. Point, 26 goals, 31 assists. Stamkos, 23 goals, 24 assists. Johnson, 18 goals, 15 assists. Gourde, 11 goals, 17 assists. Miller, 7 goals, 19 assists. Hedman, 5 goals, 21 assists. McDonough, 4 goals, 20 assists. Killorn, 10 goals, 12 assists. And Joseph, 11 goals, 5 assists, rounds out your top 10. Because what Tampa needs is another 20-goal scorer as a rookie. They need more kids coming up that can score because they don't have enough, right? Goaltenders. I expect McElhinney tonight. Big test for McElhinney. Mrazek's 8-8-2, 2.69 goals against, 900 save percentage. McElhinney is 10-5-1, 2.25 goals against, 922 save percentage. Tampa will test that if he's in there. Tampa, I expect Vasi. Vasi's played pretty much every game since he came back. Minus, I think, 1 went to Debang. Vasilevsky's 17-4-2 with a 2.55 goals against, 923 save percentage. Whereas Louis Domingue, 15-4, 2.99 goals against, 904 save percentage. big test for Carolina. How real is this winning streak? Are they actually in a playoff ready position? They win this tonight, they go 4 games above 500. In the event that, say, and it gets sketchy at that point, you need the Islanders to lose, you kind of need Montreal to lose, and then you're really into it. But either way, a win over Tampa would be gigantic for the Carolina Hurricanes. See, ever since I stumbled a couple times and called them Columbus, my brain's been going, wait, pause. Yeah, it's Carolina. All right, you got it. So there you go. From me and my brain, that's it for today. Connor McDavid, Seth Smith-Jones. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there. At least I remembered it was Jones. But there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. For anybody who sat all the way through this, thank you. Greatly appreciated. These long previews, yeah, they're a test of my ability to stick to it and do this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. I will talk to you again soon.